Okay, so here we are in the main menu screen of the current build of Street Sorcery. Before we start, two things just to keep in mind. The first is it's very early days here, so don't expect to see pretty graphics or fancy transition effects, anything like that. It's all sort of rough and simple, mostly just functional. And then the second thing is that all art that you see here is placeholder. So this background image here is not game art. It's just a piece of art I found on my hard drive, which I've put in there just to give me something to look at. In fact, I think this is concept art for the upcoming MMO, The Secret World. So it's definitely not mine. It doesn't represent the final art style of the game. It won't be used in the game. It's not for commercial use. Like I said, it's just to give me something to look at besides these dull grey boxes. So keep that in mind when we go forward. This is really just to show you where I currently am and having a little look at the process. Okay, so we're in the main menu here. Your two options are to start a new campaign game, which is story mode. You play through various encounters and meet different characters and things like that. And then quick duel mode, which is just a straight up duel with one of the AI opponents. So we'll go there quickly. You can choose your deck. We're just going to leave it with the default options, and then we're going to start the duel. Alright, this is the main duel screen. Here you can see two players, player 0, player 1. Player 0 is yourself here at the bottom, and player 1 is the AI opponent. Hopefully in the game you'll be called something more exciting than player 0 and player 1, but it's good enough for now. Under your character portrait, this one here is John Constantine, you have your life, then your resources, and then cards in your deck, your hand and your discard pile. And then next to it here at the bottom you've got the display of the actual cards in your hand, so you can see what they are. That's them there. There are four types of cards in Street Sorcery. There are creatures, which are the allies that you bring into play to attack and defend. There are event cards, which are once-off powers that you use and will achieve an instantaneous effect, something like deal damage to opponent or heal or cause them to discard cards. Then you have modifier cards, which you play onto cards that are already in play and alter the stats of those cards. And finally you have power cards, which are they're essentially like creatures. They come into play and they stay in play. They linger on the battlefield and they modify the battlefield in some way or grant you some special ability. You'll see those later. Let's play a card. Let's summon a creature, specifically this fellow here. So you see these rows here. This is the battlefield, and you've got two rows per player. The first row is the row for your creatures, and the second row is the row for your powers. So you can have 6 creatures and 4 power cards in play at one time. I'll go ahead and summon this guy here. Okay, he's grayed out there because he's exhausted. He comes into play exhausted, so he doesn't immediately attack. At the beginning of your turn, all creatures will ready from an exhausted state. And since I don't have any more resources, I'm going to go ahead and end my turn, which will give my opponent a chance to do something. I need to point out before I do this that this might be a bit confusing because as I said, the game's not polished yet. It'll be a while before I enter a phase where I start adding polish and the nice little user interface touches, and that makes a big difference for how you interpret what's going on the screen, because some things you gain information from those little pauses. What you'll see here is when I end my turn, the AI will pretty much act instantaneously, and then it will be my turn again. And there's not a lot of visual cue for that. It's just because the AI is going as fast as a computer can go. It doesn't appear to delay to think like a human would. So let's see that. It's probably just going to play a creature because I haven't coded up the AI yet. It's still very, very simple. All it does is try to play a creature card into the first available slot if it's got the resources and it's got a creature in its hand. So let's go. Okay, so what happened there? She summoned a different creature, this guy here, and he's got a special ability. Well, he's got two special abilities actually. At the beginning of your turn, he grants you an extra resource. So your default resource generation rate at the moment is 3 resources a turn. She will now get 4. However, his other ability is that when he comes into play, he deals 5 damage to his controller as a kind of counterbalance to the benefit that he grants. He's also quite strong. I don't know if you can see it here in the video, but he's got a 5 attack rating to this guy's 2. So he's a strong card, but he's exhausted at the moment. And now it's back to my turn. So let me do something to try and even the balance. This here is a modifier card. You can't see what it does because I haven't implemented the hover that shows details of the card. That's still to come. Like I said, lots of niceties missing. But take it from me that what it does is it grants +1 attack and +1 armor to a creature that I cast it on. So I'll do that now. Target it. That little indicator that came up on the side is a placeholder for an animation that will play. At the moment, you just fade in that picture, which happens to look like the lightning bolt, but isn't a lightning bolt, it's just a picture, and then it fades out. In the future, it will be sparkles and things like that, animations really. Anyway, so he's got +1 attack and he's got +1 armor, which will reduce the amount of damage he takes. So he will only take 4 of the 5 damage this guy can dish out. I'm going to end my turn because I don't have any resources, and my guy will attack now that he's ready. Your creatures attack automatically. They just attack the creature in the opposing slot, or if there's no creature blocking them, they'll deal their damage to your opponent, and they'll do that at the end of your turn. So let me end my turn, and you will see that I will, or rather my creature will attack. Then, because it's, like I said, there's no pause, you're going to see it's going to go straight into the opponent's turn. Her creature will ready, and she might play another creature if she's got the resources, and then she will attack all in sort of one go. So let's see that. Alright, so you see I dealt 2 damage, and then the way he pulsed like that, that was him giving her extra resource. That was the special ability, you remember. And then he dealt, well, he tried to do 5 damage, but then he managed to do 4 damage to this guy. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to, I don't have any resources. I can't play any of these cards, so I'm just going to end my turn. This guy has a special ability. He's vampiric. He's got vampirism 2, so he will drain life with his attack up to 2 points. So he's going to deal 3 points of damage and gain 2 of that in life. So we'll see him do that now. Does it? And he's healing. Now it's back to her turn, and she's summoning more guys. Okay, so I need to bring out another character, and I'm going to bring out this guy, which, if you remember, he will, when he's summoned, he'll deal me damage. So let's put him in that slot there. So he dealt me damage, but now I'll get an extra resource every turn from him, and he's got quite strong attack. So this guy's going to do his vampirism. Let's see that. Alright, so he will just survive. So he's still alive. And it's back to my turn again. I've got 6 resources. Now I'm going to play a power card, which is this one here. What it does is it is going to, every round it will deal me 2 damage, but then it will give me a bonus resource. So it's kind of a trade-off there. I'll play it into the power card slot. So there it is. You can see it's got a little number here. This number for creatures is their health. For a power card, it's the duration. Power cards linger on the battlefield, but they can have a limited duration. In this case, this one only lasts 3 turns. So let me end my turn, and my guys will attack. He will kill that one. He's going to deal 5 to him. Not quite kill it, but he will just survive this attack. Okay, so he died. but now it's her turn, so she summoned another one, and now I've got more resources. Right, I think I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to play it through to the end. It's not really that exciting. I don't have a huge variety of cards. The AI can't really do anything intelligent. You can just summon creatures there. I'm going to win quite easily just through the fact that I can play, you know, the event cards and things like that. So I will stop. Let me just talk about where I'm going from here. So the dual mechanics of the cards and creatures attacking, things like that, is pretty much complete. I've got a couple of things to do, and then I'm going to move on to working on the AI for a month to get the opponent actually fighting back. And while I'm doing that, I'll start to implement some of the proper cards, so not just these default cards that I have here, which aren't really well balanced. It's, you know, they're not balanced around like how much attack power they have versus how much they cost, things like that. It's just testing features. So I'll start to implement the actual cards. So after a month of AI development, I will then move on to implementing the campaign and adding polish to it for a month. So animations and things like that, little nice user interface features. That will take another month. And then it is a month of bug testing and really just hammering on it and making sure everything's balanced. That will be the month where players will get to test it and things like that. And then hopefully it'll be just about ready for release, and then I will, yeah, put it out there. Hopefully people will enjoy it and play it. Yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. The best laid plans of men and mice and all that kind of thing. But hopefully you can have it in your hands pretty soon. In the meantime, I'll be putting together more of these video blogs, just talking about why I chose certain design elements, or what the challenges are facing you, and how I've tackled certain things. Might be interesting to people who like the behind the scenes of game development. Okay, thanks for your time. I'll see you next time.